what a fun map we have at the beginning. I feel like that's such a green flag for fantasy books. You don't want to be comfortable reading a thriller. I don't think that's the point. I do like the added sense of mystery that we have in it. We're gonna keep reading and see how far we can get into this today. Hi my loves, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you guys are new. This week we're gonna have a fun week because we're gonna be trying to finish every book on my TBR. Now, will we finish every book? In an ideal world, yes, but I don't know that we're gonna get to it. I have quite a few books on my TBR for this month and I have gotten to 2 so far, but I'm hoping to get to a lot more. So this week we are going to be trying to get to as many as we can. Books I am absolutely aiming to get to is Our Infinite Fates. I am dying to get to this one. The Raven Scholar, this has been on my TBR multiple times, so I really want to try and get to it and just get it off my TBR, tick it off. These are both fantasy books, by the way. I also have A Reaper at the Gates, which is the 3rd book in the Ember and the Ashes series. I would love to get to that one. Hang on, let's pull out the diary. Let's see how many we actually have on our TBR. Rewind It Back is another one I would really like to get to. This is the latest and last installment in the Windy City series. This is like a sports romance series. I actually really like them. That's not always the case with sports romance, but this series is really fun. We have a lot on our radar. We kind of have room to mood read if I feel like it, like depending on what I'm feeling like. I could go romance, I could go fantasy, I could go high fantasy. We have a lot of room to decide, if you will. So that is what we're going to be doing this week. I'm very excited. I struggle with TBRs because I'm a mood reader. I always like to just pick up whatever I'm in the mood for as soon as I finish my last book. But you know, we're trying to get better at the TBRs because that's why we set them. So without further ado, let's pick our first read of the video. It's nighttime now. I'm about to cozy down and start my first book. The book we are starting with is the most intimidating book on my TBR, and that is The Raven Scholar. This has been on my TBR a few times already, and I have purely just been intimidated because of the size. I'm hoping we can just get a few chapters in tonight. It doesn't have to be a lot. It can just be a little bit. I don't know much about this book. I really haven't seen many people talking about it. All I know is that we have trials and it is a contest for the next emperor. A new emperor is due for their reign. But I'm very excited to delve into it and see what it holds. I have been craving a high fantasy. Honestly, as scary as they are, I do love them. So I think we're going to jump into my bed, make my room a bit cozier. A way that I've been loving to read at the moment is using my Pikoko Galaxy projector. I am someone who really struggles to fall asleep at night. I will take hours to fall asleep at night, and this honestly just helps me set the mood and fall asleep so quickly, and it just relaxes my whole nervous system. This, whilst reading, is truly the best thing to do before I go to sleep. The Galaxy projector not only just makes my inner child so happy, because I used to have like the glow in the dark stars stuck to my roof so it would be like the night sky. So this is really just a dream come true for me, for my inner child. But it also just creates the most relaxing, comfortable environment to wind down after a long day, to just start calming your nervous system and fall into the best sleep I have ever had. I have been using this for a few weeks now and I have absolutely fallen in love with it. It comes with multiple different discs, and each different disc is a different night sky projected. So we have like the different moon phases, we have different galaxies, we have shooting stars, we just have the night sky in general. Putting in an audiobook, lying down and looking up at the sky and seeing that is just absolutely wonderful. I use it in my bedroom all the time before I go to sleep, but also when I just want to create a relaxing environment in my lounge room, I'll put it above me as well, especially whilst I'm watching a movie or something at night. It really just calms me down. My boyfriend has been stealing it from me all the time as well because he's obsessed. I will leave the projector linked in my bio so you can shop your own if you are interested, and you can also get the numerous different night skies discs. You can also use the code on the screen for a discount or just follow the link in my bio. A big thank you to Pikoko for sponsoring this portion of the video. And let's get into bed and read The Raven Scholar Under the Night Sky. So I started The Raven Scholar a few days ago, but I am only 96 pages in. I've been meaning to start this book for such a long time, but it's just like so thick and intimidating to me. Yeah, that's literally the only reason. But on the back it says, the Emperor's reign is over. The contest has begun. This only came out in April, so it's still relatively new. The first thing I noticed when we opened this is what a fun map we have at the beginning. I feel like that's such a green flag for fantasy books when there's a cool map. Already quite intrigued with this. I am really loving this author's writing. It is very reminiscent to me. It is very Name of the Wind, Wheel of Time coded, but I put a little modern twist on it. Very easy to read, but very addictive, and it's really giving that classic high fantasy feel, which I'm really liking. Basically, we are following Nima, and she is from the House of the Raven. So there are different houses in this world, I would say, or like different sections like in this kingdom. So there are the ravens, there are the bears, there are the tigers, there are the foxes. I think that's all we've been introduced to so far. And then like dragons are very, very rare. But Nima is in House of the Raven, and she has been working very closely with the Emperor. She is kind of the Emperor's scribe. One day she is asked to write down a sentence for one of the twins of the daughters of a very powerful woman who is very closely associated with the dragons. This twin has been exiled because of her brother. Basically, she was asked to step up and compete for the position of the Emperor, which every 24 years, that's the longest an emperor can reign, and there will be a competition for the next emperor, and they are not allowed to be related by blood, so it has to be a new blood every time. Because of a situation with her dad, she has been asked to compete for this, but she is not the battle kind of type. She is a very simple person. She either has to compete for this position or she is exiled, and she accepts, but then her brother comes out with this statement that pretty much makes her unable to compete for the position, and so therefore her brother gets her exiled, her twin brother. Nima comes in because she is the scribe that writes this order of exile. That's kind of all we've gotten so far. The games haven't even started yet. As I said, it's a thick book, so I think we've got a lot to work with, but I'm really liking the writing style so far. However, this never happens, so let's take a moment for this. I am also going to start another book on my TBR for this month, which is not my explicit TBR, but it's my book club pick for the month, and that is Rytual by Chloe Elizabeth Wilson. This is the book club pick for the month, and I know people have kind of compared this to like Verity vibes. We're set in Australia, in Melbourne, which is really cool because that's where I live, and it's a very short book. I think we're like 300 pages, so I thought I might just read this today, and my brain is a little bit scrambled at the moment, and I don't want to miss out on anything important in this, so I think we're going to take a mini break. We're going to dive into this one. All I know about this one is that it's kind of like cultish. Our main protagonist is offered a job at this beauty cosmetic company called Rytual, and as she starts to get into it, she realizes that it's a very culty type situation. So all I know is that it's like a psychological thriller type situation, which I wouldn't really get from the cover, but yeah, I'm excited to dive into it. I've been seeing a lot about it, and it's a very quick little read. So also shout out to my sister for lending me her copy of the book. I think that's our plan for this afternoon. I do have the afternoon off, so I think we're gonna read as much as we can. Let's see how we go. This is ridiculously easy to read. This is so bingeable. I am at chapter 8, page 73, and yeah, ridiculously easy to read. Very digestible, and it's really fun to see areas that I know. I never read books about places that I've lived or been to, and I've lived here. Like, I know these places. That's a very exciting moment for me. The writing is very easy to read, as I said. The main protagonist, I feel like she may annoy me, but that's not uncommon for thrillers and me. Protagonists in thrillers, unless they're a very smart protagonist, they can often really annoy me. But you know, we're just gonna look past that, and I'm excited to see where this goes. I feel like already we're starting to get little icky kind of vibes about some of the characters. I'm kind of going like, can I trust you? Can I not? Am I getting brainwashed along with the main protagonist? Is the protagonist getting brainwashed? Like, there are quickly a lot of questions, and I'm very intrigued to see where it goes. I think this will be a really easy read. I think I'll be able to read a good amount of it today. But yeah, at the moment, very addicted, very interested to see where this goes. The next day. I am at page 205, chapter 21 of Rytual. This is a very easy book to read. This is super easy to just binge. Okay, Maisie is in her attention every bit I can possibly get phase. I really liked it at the beginning. I was really enjoying it, but it's starting to get a little bit odd. Odd things are starting to happen, and not in the sense of the plot, uncomfy things. Things that literally just make me a little bit uncomfy. And I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, I'm kind of just a little bit confused, and I feel a little bit icky reading some of the things, although I kind of feel like that is the aim. I do think it's not uncommon for a thriller to make you feel icky and a bit weird. You don't want to be comfortable reading a thriller. I don't think that's the point. And I would say this is definitely like a psychological type thriller. We don't really know what's going on. I feel like there's a lot of possibility. I'm so sorry if you can hear that. I'll make this very quick. I do think I'll be able to finish it today. We've only got like 100 pages left, I think. It's just over 300 pages, so pretty easy. I'm excited to see where it goes, but I'm also kind of curious and also a little bit scared. I think this was shaping up to be like a 4-star read, and now it's leaning towards more like a 3.5 star read, but yeah. I thought whilst I make my matcha for the morning, we can chat about Rytual, which I finished last night. So obviously it's the next day, and honestly, a very easy read. I know I keep saying that, but I cannot reiterate how easy it was. Just between the writing, the plot, everything, it was very easy. That being said, it was a 3-star read for me, so not an awful read by any means. Just one that I wouldn't rush to recommend. I really liked the beginning of it. I really liked where it was going. I loved how in the unknown, yes, I have 2 packs of matcha. It's a big matcha kind of day. I loved how much like in the unknown you were kind of there with the character, getting introduced to everything. I'm trying not to say this without spoilers, but for a long time it didn't feel like it was that much of a paranormal thriller. It felt like something that genuinely could happen. To me, thrillers hit hardest when it's something that could happen. That's kind of scary to me, but as soon as it gets to the paranormal side, and this didn't get to the paranormal side, but it just kind of got to the unbelievable side, and I was like, yeah, there's no way that's happening. And it kind of just took me out of it a bit. It took me out of my element. I wasn't as scared anymore. And I will say, I don't think the whole point of it was to be scared. I think there was a lot, it was commenting on a lot of issues these days. And I do think it did a good job of commenting on those issues. I think it was quite interesting reading about it, and because it's such a modern book and it commented on such modern issues, clearly it wasn't written that long ago. I found that aspect really interesting as well. Would recommend if you need a quick, addictive, bingeable kind of read, going on a winter vacation or something like that. I feel like it's a really good one, or a fall, I know it's coming into fall for you guys in the States and the UK and everything. It is a pretty good fall read. So yeah, I don't know, I liked it. I didn't love it. It was easy, it was fun. I'm glad we ticked it off. I'm very interested to see what my book club has to say about it. I'm really curious. That's why I like doing book clubs, because I love to see everyone else's thoughts. It's okay, you can laugh at my giant honey. It's literally bigger than my head. I eat a lot of honey, and this is raw honey, and it was cheaper, okay? Buying it that way. I'm gonna continue with the Raven Scholar today. I'm very excited to see where it goes. I'm very curious to see where it goes. But yeah, for now, we're just going to continue making my matcha. And then I'm going to sit down. Actually, I've got a uni class, an online uni class. So we're gonna sit down and do that. And then hopefully this afternoon we can read a little bit more. As for the next book I'm thinking of reading, I think we're gonna pick up Our Infinite Fates, because I chose that again for my TBR this month, and it's been on my TBR too many times. And it's just embarrassing that I haven't read it at this point. So I was like, you know what? I think it's finally time. I've been low-key struggling with my milk to matcha ratio. It's a nice color. That's pretty good. I don't think I need more milk. That's good. Okay, it's a bit later. I've finished my lectures. Page 230. So I've made a dent. I feel like I finally can say I've made a dent. With these big books, it's so intimidating, and one reason I love reading big books physically is because when you start to make progress, you can actually see that you're making progress, and it kind of, I don't know, it gives me some more motivation to keep going. I've also got a peppermint tea. What a surprise. We're gonna sit down and read for a little while, see how far we can get into this. I'm really liking it so far, really liking our main protagonist. There are a few characters that are definitely getting on my nerves, and I will say it's not the most fast moving book. Yes, we have a lot of trials, so that does add a fun action element to it, but it's not the most fast moving book I've ever read, but I'm not hating that. I don't hate that at all. I kind of like when it's very focused on the world building and the character development. I feel like action can come later, you know? Like, I'm not mad about focusing on all this kind of stuff at the moment. We also have an added sense of mystery here. We kind of have a crime that one of them is trying to solve, which just adds another layer to the story. I feel like it adds another kind of sense of heightened stakes, if that makes sense. Like, we've already got the trials going on. I think before I said that there was a raven, a fox, and a few others, but I don't think I mentioned that there is like House of the Monkeys, and there was one other, I forgot to say which one. I think I said tiger earlier. If I didn't say tiger, it's tiger. We've kind of got like some mythical creatures as well as just like creatures with very specific personality traits, which I find really interesting. Like, obviously ravens are very smart, introverted kind of animals. Foxes are very sly, witty kind of creatures, and everyone who's like belongs to that house has those personality traits about them, which is really interesting. So yeah, our character is in the Raven, obviously House of the Raven, Raven Scholar. So she's very kind of kept to herself. She's not really the action kind of type, but yeah, very refreshing and fun to read about. I do think she's a little bit surface level at the moment. Like, I'm hoping we can get a little bit more from her. And I will say, if you're new to fantasy, this might be a bit of a slow book for you, but I'm not hating it, as I said. We're gonna keep reading and see how far we can get into this today. It's next morning. morning. We are well into The Raven Scholar. I am having the best time so far. It is a really, really good book. I am loving the trial setting. We are definitely into the action now. We're getting a little bit more action finally, which I'm here for. I've had this really not great ambition that I can finish this today. We've got like 300 pages left, but yeah, it's the morning. But yeah, I'm gonna try and finish it today, and I might film like a little TikTok for it, so if I do, I'll just insert that here. But I want to try and read as much as I can today, maybe even start another book today as well. I don't know what motivation has suddenly hit me, but suddenly I want to finish it. There's a lot going on, and I feel like I've been kind of fleshing it out over the past few days. I've really been taking my time, and I want to get it done. I want to see what happens. I want to see where our characters end up. I feel like there's so much that could happen. We have a lot of slow scenes in this, and I do think some of it doesn't necessarily, I mean, maybe it does. Maybe it's information that is going to be very important later on in the book, or like later on in the series, because it's the first in a series. So it's always a little bit interesting when it's the first in a series and it's clearly a high fantasy series, because you kind of get dumped with a lot of information, a lot of world building, a lot of character development in the first book, and especially like in the second book usually as well. But this is focusing a lot on character development and world building, which I am really intrigued in. Also like politics. There's a lot of politics behind this. As I said, really liking the whole animal elements and everything like that. I'm really liking a lot of our characters. I do like the added sense of mystery that we have in it. I don't have a lot to update from what I said because I want to keep it as vague as possible. I don't want to be ruining this for you. I don't want to be spoiling it for you. Let's just say I feel like a lot could happen in the last like 30% of the book, which I think is about what we've got left, but it has taken a while to get here. I feel like that's the best way to describe it. I have somehow convinced myself that I can finish this book today and start another one and possibly finish another one. It's 1 o'clock on a Saturday. I really don't think this is that realistic. But I've already knocked like another 50, 60 pages out this morning. So we are at chapter 51, page 446. I think this is about 650 pages. We have a lot to go. It is The Raven Scholar. Literally obsessed with it so far. I cannot put it down. It's just really thick and long. So let's see how ridiculous I'm being and if I can actually finish it in a day. Like 100 pages left, maybe less than 100 pages. The stakes is so high, I actually don't really know what's gonna happen. So if you need a fantasy book with trials, you should read this because it's so good. We are making progress. Page 561. We finished The Raven Scholar. It's 4 o'clock, so it did take me a little bit. Actually ridiculously good. A massive cliffhanger towards the end. Like, I want to get the second book immediately. It's night. I'm in my PJs. Starting our Infinite Fates. This has been on my TBR for like an embarrassingly long time. It's like 6 o'clock. Let's see how much I can read. We're at page 94, chapter France. I don't know what number chapter this is. Really good so far. We've got a lot of time jumps, basically following two protagonists, and they've loved each other in 1,000 lifetimes and killed each other in every one. The main reason I was excited to read this book is because the song that embodies it is Exile by Taylor Swift. 154 pages in. I already know this book is gonna break my heart. We're at page 179, and I think that's me done for the night. Made it to about halfway through, so that's pretty good. Kind of impressed myself. I had very ambitious goals for this. So I ended up doing a little reading challenge, as you probably saw, and basically just challenging myself to finish as much as I could in a day. We're still currently in that challenge. I actually think I need to change into something warmer. I am so cold. I think it's probably PJ time. Anyway, before I get into my PJs though, I wanted to give you an update on The Raven Scholar. So it is later in the night, and I just finished The Raven Scholar. I pretty much forced myself to finish as much as I possibly could. There were some times it was definitely slow, but I feel like the ending just gave everything I wanted. It was such a good book. Like, this was gonna be such a high rating. I'm thinking a 4.5 star rating. I loved so many aspects of this. I really loved our characters. The ending had me jaw on the floor. I absolutely need the second book immediately. This is something I hate about starting series. I love starting new series, but when they haven't come out with the second one, or I don't even know when this is gonna be announced, like the second one's gonna be announced, this only just came out. And that was such a big cliffhanger, and I'm so curious to see where we're gonna go from here. I really liked this though. There were so many aspects of this that I love. Also, I don't know if I mentioned it before, but can we make footnotes a thing in fantasy books? I have read a few fantasy books where there's been footnotes, basically just like describing the magic system or giving you a bit of a background on something that they mention. I love a good glossary. I love a good glossary, don't get me wrong, but sometimes it's a little bit annoying, like flipping to the back, looking at the glossary, then coming back to the current page. When there's footnotes, it just makes it so much easier. I feel like we learn a lot of history about this world whilst we were reading it, whether it was through the characters learning about the history, like they might have found a book and that told them a lot about it, or whether it was through like the footnotes and everything like that. We learned a lot about the history of this world, and I just feel like that is giving us the best foundation for the rest of the series. I'm so excited to see where this goes. If you're a high fantasy fan, cannot recommend this book enough. I will say it was a little bit slow in the beginning, and then the middle I felt like a little bit of a drag, but also we were getting a lot of information, so I kind of understand why it was slow. It didn't quite give me that 5-star feel, but like I do think there's a possibility for the rest of the series. If we continue going up from here, that's just going to be amazing. But overall, I loved the writing. I thought it was such incredible, beautiful writing, but also very easy to read. I loved the world building. I loved the depth to the world. God, I love depth to worlds. I love when a fantasy world has like an insane amount of politics and history related to it. It just makes me feel like I am so immersed in the world and makes me feel like this is a real world. Like this really happened. So I'm feeling like this is just a very underhyped book, and it needs more hype. So highly recommend. And the next book I am so excited about is Our Infinite Fates by Laura Stephen. This has been on my TBR so many times as well. It's kind of ridiculous. I don't know why these two have been so intimidating to me, but for some reason they have. Our Infinite Fates has just been a book that I've been seeing everyone read, and I feel like I really need to get to it, but I just keep pushing it back. Not because of the size, because look, it's not that big of a book. It's like 400 pages. I think just because of the hype surrounding it and everyone's saying it's like such an incredible book, but then I see some people be like, oh, it's just average. So like, I don't know what I'm gonna think, but we are gonna start this and just try and read as much as possible tonight. I don't know if I'll update you tonight or update you in the morning. All I know about Our Infinite Fates is that it is about reincarnation. So basically we are following two characters, I think, and they have different lifetimes, but end up killing each other in every single lifetime. And then they reincarnate into a different person in another lifetime. That's all I know. I know it's a bit of a tragic love story. So, you know, mentally preparing myself, physically preparing myself. We'll dive into this. We'll see how we go. We're about halfway through, I reckon. I read quite a lot last night. This is so easy to read, which I'm very happy about. Like, I like and fun, easy fantasy. It almost is giving like magical realism. But for an update, I read about 170 pages last night. I just tried to read as much as I possibly could, and I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. I love when I can just start a new book, sit down and read as much as possible of it, because I feel like that really gets me immersed in the book straight away. I love to do that for fantasy books, especially. If I can sit down and read like 100 pages at least in a sitting, that'll get me straight away immersed in the world, and I'll be pretty hooked from then on if it's like a good book that I'm going to enjoy. But yeah, we are 198 pages in. I did stop in the middle of a chapter. Sorry. So far, I'm really liking it. So I think I described it very briefly, but it is pretty much exactly what I said. We are following two protagonists. They reincarnate in different lifetimes. It's very interesting, honestly quite tragic. Obviously, like they've killed each other in numerous lifetimes. So I'm sure you can guess from that. It's pretty tragic. I know that a lot of people have cried a lot in this book, and I feel like this last half definitely could get me. I'm really loving some of our characters. I don't know what I think about our main two necessarily, but I really like some of our side characters, especially Gracie. She's really like, she's cool. I like her. I feel sorry for some of our characters, and I really have no idea how this book is going to turn out. Like, I'm not really sure how we're gonna go from here, because I just feel like there's so many things working not in their favor. Like, there are so many things not going right necessarily. Like, I don't know how this is gonna have a conclusion in a sense. In this book, we are focusing on one particular lifetime that they're living, but we do have like time jumps back to different times that they've been in. So what is the one I am reading at the moment? We're in Norway in 1652 at the moment. Been all over the world. We've been in America. We're in Wales at the moment. We've been in Austria, Hungary in 1898. Like, we've been through a lot. And I do like having the little flashbacks. Like, I feel like you get to know a little bit more about your characters in those flashbacks. So far I'm really, really enjoying it. It is so easy to read, so fast, very bingeable, and I'm really, really curious to see where we're gonna go. I do feel like we could possibly finish it today, maybe early tomorrow. So we'll see how we go for the rest of the day. I have about 70 pages left of Our Infinite Fates, and it just took turn that I really was not expecting. I'm not sure how I feel about it, to be honest. I don't know whether I like it. I'll obviously like see how it wraps up and everything, but that was kind of a twist I wasn't expecting. To be fair, I don't know how this could have concluded otherwise. Like, I don't know what other alternative ending I was hoping for. And like, obviously we haven't even reached the end. Like, we've still got a bit to go, but like, I feel like that was the kind of big thing that changed it all. I don't know what else I was hoping for. Like, realistically, there's not much else that could have happened. I've been really, really enjoying it. I will say I feel like I liked the first 50-60% a lot more than the back of the book. I think there's just been a few plot points that I'm just like, oh, okay. It's just changed the whole feel of the book a lot. I did see one thing coming, and I'm proud of myself for seeing that coming, because I was like, yeah, I knew. There are kind of a few like plot twists, not in the sense of like, oh my god, that's insane, but like little plot points that you don't necessarily expect, but not like massive twists. I don't really know how to explain that. Yeah, I don't know how this is gonna end. I have a lot of questions. There are a lot of loose ends I feel like need to be tied up in a very short amount of time, and I don't know how that's gonna happen. Let's just keep reading at the moment, and we'll see how it happens. What? I'm confused. Okay, that's kind of cute. That's kind of cute. I feel like so much just happened in the last 50 pages of that book. I feel like everything was left until the super last minute. It's a YA book, so I kind of feel like if any book is going to pull that off, it's a YA book. You're not expecting an insane amount, but I do wish that was fleshed out a little bit more. I feel like, I don't know if I liked the whole twist, but I loved the first 50% of this book, so I'm so conflicted. I kind of get where the mixed ratings have been coming from now, because some people that have read it, I have like really similar taste to, and they're like, I gave it this like a 3 stars, and I was like, oh, that really surprises me. I feel like there were elements that I absolutely loved of this book. The sun is setting, it's so pretty. I feel like there were elements that I absolutely loved of this book, and there were just elements that I really didn't, like that were just completely not what I was expecting. But then the last page ending was really, really cute. I really liked the very, very, very end of it. I didn't love the kind of plot twist though. I don't know how to describe it. It's so confusing to describe it without spoilers, obviously. Basically, what I'm trying to say is I'm very conflicted. What I did love was Laura Stevens' writing. Her writing is so easy to read. It is so bingeable, and you can just get lost in it very quickly. So I'm excited to read more from her. I don't know what we're gonna rate this book. I feel like we're gonna go somewhere between the 3.5 to a 4 stars. I don't want to push this as I'm not recommending this book, because I honestly am. This was so addictive. It was so easy to read. I feel like you could really like it. That was just one part of it that I didn't like, but most of it I did really, really enjoy. And I think overall lots of people would really love this. But for me, it just wasn't a perfect book. Like, there were flaws in it. I did really like the characters. I really liked the whole concept of it, like reincarnating in different lifetimes and finding each other in different lifetimes. That's really fascinating to me. So I did really like the whole concept of it, but I'm not sure I loved the ending. So just so conflicted, so conflicted. I feel like I need time to process this, but that does mean we are brought to the end of this vlog, because it is a day away to the end of the month. So I'm not sure we could finish another book in the month of July from our July TBR, but I am pretty happy with what we got read. I was pretty surprised with what we got read. I wasn't really expecting that much, especially with the Raven Scholar. The Raven Scholar was such a big book for me, and so I'm so happy that I can tick that off my TBR. That I can tick this off as well is a big achievement for me, so I feel really happy with it, especially as a mood reader. I don't usually get through all my TBRs, and I'm glad we got through like a good chunk of it this month. I'm definitely hoping to get through a good amount next month as well. Like, maybe this will become a theme for the next few months. I hope so, because there are so many books I really want to read, but sometimes I just get scared to pick them up, and like having a TBR is kind of that good push that you need. But yeah, I think that brings us to the end of today's vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed reading along with me for the month. If you've watched till the end of this video, thank you so much. You truly mean the world to me. I know I say that every single video, but like, I cannot express it enough. This vlog was so much fun. I feel like we had some really good reads. We had some really different reads. Highly recommend the Raven Scholar, to be honest. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed reading along with me for the week. I love you all so much, and I will see you in my next video.